you lost weight only to gain it right back after returning to your routine? Did your diet work for someone else but not you? Rockin' That ID Life helps you understand your genetic makeup to find a lifestyle that fits your needs. Together, you and RockinThatIDLife.com can focus on your health and meet your goals today. That's RockinThatIDLife.com.
Center Ice Brewery is a proud sponsor of Let's Go Blues Radio. Visit centericebrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or make a reservation in their awesome tap room. That's Center Ice Brewery, located in Midtown St. Louis. Let's go Blues! Welcome to Season 10, Episode 18 of Let's Go Blues Radio. We're the often imitated, never duplicated, fully vaccinated, 10-time defending podcast champion, the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast. Special thanks to RockinThatIDLife.com and CenterIceBrewery.com for proudly sponsoring the show. Please check them out. It's Wednesday, January 12th, and we are broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook. This is franchise episode number 336 all time. To interact with the show, we're on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube and Instagram. Just do a search for us. You will find us. I'm Kurt Price. My co-host tonight for the big show is Bill Day. Jeff Ponder will be joining us shortly. He is returning from assignment, I guess.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
It's the only way we can put it on this show.
Right, exactly. We're talking St. Louis Blues hockey. We do have a My Blues Note book to give away tonight. We're going to announce the winner. I guess we'll wait till Jeff gets here to do that because that is his project. So we'll let him.
Or we could be dicks.
Or we could. And I don't actually. He didn't. He did show us who he picked. So
yeah,
that was Well, we'll wait. I don't have it pulled up, so we'll just wait. Bill and I and Jeff, all three of us will be at Center Ice Brewery on Monday. That's the plan anyway. The 17th, because we're going to the Pronger retirement game. And so we're going to hang out at Center Ice Brewery before the game. I'm not sure how long before the game, but I mean, we're off, right? There's no work that day. So we have all day. I think, and there's a shuttle going to and from Center to the game from Center Ice. So,
yeah,
some fun.
Yeah, might be suffering a hangover by the time we get on the shuttle to go back. If we can cut off the party at the right time.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
We're gonna bring some show stickers. So if you guys are gonna be at Center Ice. Shoot us a tweet, come by and say hi. We'll give you some stickers. If you're going to be at the game, send us tag us in a tweet or something, and we'll come find you and give you some stickers or whatever. So, we'll have stickers on us to just give away for free, for nothing. Okay, it's all dusty. It's on my desk. There it is. There's one of them right there. The Blues Hockey Stag Beer mashup sticker, which is in high demand. Bill's got one there show too. So we had a request for it to be on a T-shirt the other day, and we had the T-shirt on the site, but we're taking it down for a slight redesign. It'll be back up shortly. I didn't ask you how you're doing, Bill. How's the Wi-Fi?
The Wi-Fi is incredible. It's amazing having stable Wi-Fi in my life again. I apologize for the last couple of weeks of me having to do it from my phone and everybody having to stare at my fat ass stomach. But yeah, it's nice.
I'm glad your Wi-Fi is good for this show. Maybe you'll hang with us the entire show and there's going to be no hiccups. Matt Harris, YouTube chat says, howdy gents to everyone except to Jamie Ben. I hope you're having a great night. I'll second that. Since Jeff's not here, Jeff's a Jamie Ben fan. Yeah, he's one of the few outside Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things that if he's on your team, you're going to love him.
Sure.
But, if not, it's...
He's a dirty player.
It's not you're gonna mildly hate him. You're gonna fucking hate him.
He's a dirty player.
That is what we do here.
You saw what he did to Costin on the one of the bench. I don't know if you saw that around, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, the slash on the wrist.
The slash on the wrist. Yeah,
He puck was nowhere near, and he just a good solid slash right on his wrist above the cuff, right on it, where there's no padding. He could have broke his wrist.
Yeah,
just stupid. He does it all the time, that kind of shit.
Yeah, he and Corey Perry, and when Corey Perry was on the Stars, man, he had a terrible year for them. But when he signed there, I'm like, this is not going to work. I'm not going to enjoy this whatsoever. So, but the lasting memory of Corey Perry on the Stars is getting ejected from the Winter Classic, like right away.
He was 2 minutes in.
Right, it'd have to take that very long walk back to their locker room. That's pretty awesome.
It couldn't happen to a nicer guy, really.
Nope.
Trying to find TNT on my what channel is TNT on Spectrum? It's not that high.
That's a good question. I mean, Spectrum repeats how many different times?
Yeah, I know. That's
49.
49. There it is. Thank you. Let's see what Ross B in the YouTube chat. Did you boys see the video of Louis pulling down the pants of a Stars fan? Was that one of those setup videos? Ones that they
would have had to.
I mean, it seems lawsuit worthy. They didn't set it up. Yeah. I did not see that.
And then Matt's question: did you see the video of Kodak Black?
Yeah, I didn't have that in the show notes for the. But I did. I even made a comment on Twitter about it. I said that was the principal point of the contact was head. So, but 2-game suspension.
Yeah. There were some great hockey tweets in there. Down Goes Brown, I think, might have had my favorite because somebody tweeted it that it's just dancing, and Down Goes Brown said something like, that's what I hate about hockey. After review, the goal's taken away, something like that. I don't know. It was pretty hilarious. I should have had that in the show notes.
Yeah, well,
whatever.
It can't be a perfect show.
It can't be. Not without Ponder.
No. And he should. He said quarter till 10 o'clock, something like that. So we'll see. The official beers of episode number 336. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. My handle is CPrice12. Jeff's is JPonder94. Bill's is Billy Blue Note. And I don't want to break the string here. I'll
go ahead. Go to Jeff.
Jeff, what's your beer of the show?
It's gonna be O'Fallon Pumpkin Ale.
or what was the forehand ones he likes? The juice one. Contact High.
Contact High. Yeah.
Or that one, which that's more of a summer, I think, for him. But okay, so he's not here. So Bill, what is your beverage of the show?
Oh, well, thank you. That's the fastest we've gotten through Ponder's beer in a while. My beer of the show is Three Floyds Agromaster. It's coffee ale. I've had a couple of offerings from Three Floyds, and they're supposed to be like super awesome. Everybody loves them, and this is the first one I've really liked. So it's a Scotch ale that has coffee in it, and that's the first time I've ever heard of those two things being put together. I love both of those things, and they pull it off pretty well. So I'm happy with it. I may have another.
My beer. Well, no, scratch that. My beverage of the show is some stuff left over from the girly drink night party that we had here. Is a truly tropical punch hard seltzer. I don't do hard seltzers really, but it was in the fridge, and I thought it'd be something fun to have on the show, something different. I've never had this. It's actually not too bad as far as hard seltzers go. I don't really do hard seltzers. Like I said, I don't care for them, but this is not too bad. I think it would get kind of old after a while, though.
Yeah, I tried a couple of those pre-pandemic during softball.
Yeah,
because it's a little bit lighter and you can get away with it. But yeah, some of them have. At least the ones that were brought to our softball games had artificial sweeteners in them, and
That's what
that gets me sick.
I think they all have it, and this has stevia, so it's same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stevia is okay.
It's okay, but it still tastes artificial, and it's got that. I don't know how to explain it. That artificial sweetener taste, I guess. It doesn't taste
that aftertaste that just doesn't go away.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's not something I like. I can't. There's no way. I mean, someone gives me one. All right, fine. I'll have one, I guess. But I'll try something. But I'm never gonna buy a 6-pack of this stuff or 4-pack. Just I don't do the artificial sweetener stuff. It doesn't taste good. Today in Blues history, courtesy of the @STL Blues history Twitter account, January 12th, 1999, Doug Wickenheiser passed away at the age of 37. The quote by the great Red Fisher said it best: "He was the most courageous human being I ever met." So Doug Wickenheiser was like, man, his time here, the 86 miracle, Monday Night Miracle goal, that was like right at the beginning of my blues fan, my hockey fandom. So I mean, I don't remember a lot about Wickenheiser in detail, but yeah, rough go in Montreal after being drafted first overall, right?
Yep.
And big things expected, and it's a tough crowd up there if you don't perform.
Yeah.
So
yeah, especially being a non-French first overall pick
and not picking Savard. Right. They didn't pick. I mean, they could have had Savard, who wanted to have a great career.
Right, and ultimately did play in Montreal as part of the '93 Cup final team, the Cup champions team.
Right,
but
still, at the time,
right. It was a rough, like you said, a rough go for him. Also had some off ice stuff here. The tearing his ACL on the famed Blues snipe hunt.
Yeah,
falling out of a pickup truck. Just
I'm going to guess alcohol was involved there. Maybe, possibly.
Hockey players in the woods in a pickup truck. Yeah, you're probably right.
And it was never said, but Gasoff's unfortunate death during the party at the, whose house was it? It was
somebody's farm.
Yeah, it was it the
Picard's?
I don't think it was Picard's. I think it was I don't know. I'm not sure. But maybe it was. But yeah, I'm going to guess alcohol was involved with that too. It was a motorcycle accident. He was walking like it was they were riding motorcycles in dirt trails in the woods or something, and he was walking back the trail or something, and somebody came over the hill, like was jumping a hill and didn't see him and just landed on him, basically ran into him. That's the way I understood what happened. So maybe alcohol was not involved. I don't want to make assumptions like that, but that's not very nice. But because accidents like that do happen. But anyway, January 12th, 1985, Barclay Plager returned to the St. Louis Blues bench after missing 3 months due to radiation treatments for a brain tumor. His brother Bobby filled in behind the bench while Barclay was receiving treatment. January 12th, 1983, Ralston Purina, owner of the St. Louis Blues at the time, announced they received an offer to sell the team to Hunter Enterprises, which was Bill Hunter. Had that entire deal been allowed to happen, that was the deal where the Blues would have been moved to Saskatoon. Which if anybody's listening who hasn't heard in detail that whole era, St. Louis Game Time has a nice write-up of the story of the Solomons or something like that. It's a really nice detailed write-up about that entire era and the shit show that was the Blues ownership. Weird, crazy. It's amazing we still have a hockey team here after that.
Yep. I mean, everything that we've gone through, and to finally wind up with Tom Stillman, the guy that just loves this franchise through and through. And he's the guy that gets, is the ownership, the head of the ownership group to get us over the hump and win their cup. It's only right. because everything else, there's so many clown shows. I mean, was it Bill Laurie? Sold us this, or stripped the team down, traded Pronger the second he realized he wasn't getting the Memphis Grizzlies here. Mike Shanahan, he was great, but had his off ice stuff or away from the rink stuff with the stock options deal, and it was a wild ride.
And Checkits, which, I mean, it's funny because all the ownership groups, from what Shanahan on, even before, and they tried to win. I mean, all of them, almost all of them.
Well, Shanahan, right? Shanahan was really, they were the ones that were putting the money into the team, getting us in trouble. The early days of free agency.
Stevens,
Scott
Shanahan,
Shanahan, It wasn't not exciting. That's for sure.
It was, man, to have a podcast back then and to talk about the Blues have been very interesting.
God.
Or to have a podcast during the Mike Danton stuff too, man. Whew.
Crazy days.
We've been talking about that for months. January 12th, 2004, the St. Louis Blues honor friend of the show, Ken Wilson, for 20 years of service in a pregame ceremony. And then he was fired 4 months later.
20 years seems about right. See you later.
Well, I guess, when John Kelly became available,
right.
And the fact that he was, Ken Wilson, I mean, I love Ken Wilson, but he was mailing it in.
He was mailing it in. He was coasting at that point. Trying to find the strategic point every game to slip it in, oh baby, and it was like a little bit lazy, but in his heyday, he was one of the most exciting announcers.
Well, an article was written about how he just didn't show up early to games, didn't socialize with the team, socialize with the coaching staff or the players to get information to talk about on the air, to add to the broadcast, like you're expected to do. He didn't do that, didn't feel it was part of his job. So
like John Kelly and Darren Pang clearly do.
Yes.
Right? They feel like they are part of the inner core of the team.
And they are. I mean, and plus, I mean, Kelly is an institution. The family is, and so is he, and he is too. And Kelly, and Pang is just, he's a star broadcaster in the NHL now. I mean, he's been a former player, so he's got that link. So I mean, it's an easy gel with the team, you would think. We're going to talk about the 2-1 win versus the Dallas Stars on Sunday. What a finish! We'll talk about that and some other stuff after we hear from our friends at ID Life.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Put that energy drink down. Don't you know that common energy drinks contain high levels of caffeine and other harmful ingredients that can lead to increased blood pressure and heart rhythm disturbances? Finding that energy you need for everyday activities doesn't need to put your health at risk. ID Life's energy formula doesn't use artificial ingredients or a massive dose of caffeine. Energy's caffeine levels are released slowly over time, allowing for longer periods of energy without crash, not to mention keeping your heart safe. Energy also includes neurotransmitters for mood, focus, memory, and cognitive function. ID Life also added antioxidants associated with brain health for no reason besides perfection. With RockinThatIDLife.com, you can get an energy boost and leave the heart risk behind. Text Dustin at 636-393-8745 or visit RockinThatIDLife.com and throw those gas station energy drinks in the garbage. That's 636-393-8745 and RockinThatIDLife.com and tell Dustin that Let's Go Blues Radio sent you.
Are we? Yeah, we're still live. Gee whiz.
It wasn't my fault this time.
No, it wasn't. Well, I just saw my for some reason my connection is bad right now. What's going on? I guess I'll turn this game off to save on some bandwidth. What the hell?
Mm.
Hopefully it gets better. Am I choppy right now? I probably am.
Yeah.
Yeah, my connection's never good. It should get better. It usually does if it's bad. Huh. That's the first time that's happened with the new connection. Interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. Anyway, what was the last thing you heard me say about Matt Harris's beer?
That, and there was a very long pause before that. So
Okay. Matt Harris's beer is the Fayette Dazed from Apple Blossom Brewery in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And Keith Price in the YouTube chat also says Bill needs a spoon. You need a spoon. Is that for your beer?
From a beer, probably.
Oh.
Which I feel like I have to brag. My beer fridge is down in the basement, and I'm up on the second floor. I made it down there, grabbed another beer, and was back up here with 10 seconds to spare. I'm still out of breath, but
Never run to the microphone. Austin Lynch in the YouTube chat says, "How's it going, fellas? Hey, Austin." He says, "I'm over here drinking water, fighting COVID. Damn it." Well, that sucks, Austin. I hope you are. Well, he says fighting COVID. I assume he's not feeling too well. I hope you're not too symptomatic. Stay safe.
Yes, please do.
And Keith Price says lazy broadcasting.
Question mark.
Question mark.
2 question marks.
And then Matt Hess says, "Lost you guys for a minute. Got you back now." Yeah, that was my connection. Sorry about that. Which at least back in the day, I would have had to reestablish a new thing here in Stage 10 and send out a new link to join. But apparently it rejoined, and hopefully we're continuing. So
yeah, it says we're live.
Ken Moore says, "Good evening, gents. May the force of Lee Norwood be with each and every one of you." I was at the Blues game when he sang "Proud to be an American." Is that his song?
No, you're thinking Lee Greenwood. I was at that game too, right? Lee Norwood, number 23.
Lee Norwood, right? He wasn't the singer; he was the
mustachioed defenseman.
Yeah, that's right.
Who? You mentioned the unfortunate Bobby Gassoff incident. Lee Norwood also was victim of a motorcycle related accident. He was working on a Harley in his garage, and it fell on him.
Oh,
and he missed a significant amount of time.
Yeesh. Not sure how to segue off that.
Yeah.
Anyway, sounds into some better news.
It's the motorcycle accident episode.
Right. That's gonna be the graphic tomorrow.
Yeah, and Tony Twist, the day that he got released by the Blues.
Yeah, just stay off bikes. I mean, they're dangerous anyway, right? I mean, come on.
Blues players, stay away from them.
Yeah. Although, well, whatever. I'm not gonna get into Tony Twist. The Blues played the Dallas Stars on Sunday and came in with a 2-1 improbable victory. Improbable finish, I'll say that. What a finish. Trailing 1-0 with less than a minute to go in the game, the Blues scored twice to win in regulation. This was the first time in Blues history and the only time, and only the 11th time in only the 11th time in NHL history a team trailing with less than a minute to go ended up winning in regulation. For most of this game, the Blues didn't seem to have the energy level they needed. They weren't terrible, but they just couldn't seem to generate enough high-quality chances in tight on Holtby or sustain any real pressure first 2 periods.
Nothing sustained.
Not at all.
It's not the kind of game you'd call a pop gun offense where it was just like one and done. They just nothing felt threatening. And
right. Well, I think Dallas did a good job of holding the outside. They didn't give them any in-tight chances, which means not a lot of second chances. Which again means if you're not getting second chances, and chances are you're not having a lot of sustained pressure. So
Yeah, and I thought the Blues drove the play in the first period, but Dallas, like you said, they really controlled, the lanes and kept the Blues, like you said, to the outside. Didn't give them grade A opportunities.
Right. I thought Dallas played a near perfect road game. I played a very good. They didn't take a lot of unnecessary chances. Didn't give the Blues a whole lot. They clogged up the middle, kept the Blues to the outside, and they played and it was an entertaining game. To say that the Blues didn't have a lot of sustained pressure, I wasn't really bored with the game. I wasn't overly upset with the game. A little frustrated, a little here and there, but not terribly. Maybe because Dallas wasn't scoring 2, 3, 4 goals and we're down by a few. But you feel like you're down 1-0. You feel like you're always in the game, right, with one shot. So that probably had something to do with it. But I didn't think I wasn't. It was an entertaining game. It was a fun game, I thought, especially in the third period when the Blues turned it on a bit. But the only thing the Blues, the Dallas could have done better was take fewer penalties. They gave the Blues 5 power plays in the game.
The last 2 are the fatal flaw.
Right. Yeah, they killed the first 3. And the Blues killed all 3 power plays they gave Dallas. So that was
right.
If Dallas fans want to complain about a lot of things this game, they could say, "Oh, we didn't score a power play. We had 3 chances."
Yeah, but Jordan Binnington had a lot to do with that.
He was very good. Which stopped 27-28 in this game. I'd like to see him do this kind of thing a little more. Now this is the kind of thing. It's just interesting because Binnington stood on his head this game, played a very good game, allowed 1 goal in a game that the Blues needed him to allow just 1 goal. Any more, and we lose this game. It was 1 goal and that's it, and that's what he did. So that was he turned in a great game, and which the Blues needed. So that was good to see. You've seen goalies in the past that we've talked about, like when we criticized Jake Allen, for example. Every once in a while, you got to have your goalie stand up and keep your team in a game that they're getting outplayed in, and they can try and win it in the end, or get a point in the end or whatever. Not every time, because it's not fair, but you want to see that once in a while, and Binnington did it.
Right. I thought both goalies were really strong in this game, and it seemed like if there was any kind of back and forth and trying to stick with the other team, it was in goaltending. Right. Holtby was awesome. Made some really, really clutch saves in the first period. When the Blues did get their opportunities. And Binnington was strong in the second, and it's kind of weird. The Blues really didn't have the better of the play in the second period, and they are a great second period team, the best in the league this year.
Yeah, they only had 5 shots on goal in the second period. Yeah. Didn't play particularly well, and allowed the only goal of the game in the second period, which midway through the second period, the Stars. Jason Robertson scored to put them up 1-0. Nice neutral zone transition by Dallas. Robertson on the 4 boards outside the blue zone. A little slick back behind the back pass to hits Pavelski with speed. Cuts to the middle. Dishes to Heiskanen near side, who works in. Backhand pass to the slot to Robertson, who kind of hits Parayko's skate, I believe. And then Robertson gets his own rebound, kind of glides to the side of the net, puts it on net low. Binnington slides across. Damn near gets it. It goes in by 4 or 5, 6 inches, and then gets pulled back out. Almost a great save. I thought he might have made the save at first, but then they're celebrating him. It probably went in.
So. Yeah, and Peg called it out. You could hear the thud of the puck hitting his pad. It hit the pad very flush. Just at that point, Binnington coming back across, his momentum really, I think, propelled the puck into the net and almost pulled it out.
Yeah,
but yeah, the ref was right on top of it and was adamant it was in and was correct.
Yeah, review would have showed that it went in anyway, and they did review it. So, and that for a while it looked like that was going to be the only goal in the game. You get to the third period and Dallas takes a couple penalties in the final 10 minutes of the second period, but the Blues they're off their power play, which you're hoping their potent power play, can tie this game on one of these power plays, because they had two power plays in the last half of the second period. Couldn't do it. But I think when the Blues poured it on a bit in the third, out shooting Dallas 16-8, Perron took a tripping penalty against Jamie Benn with 5 minutes to go in the game. I thought that was like, that sucks. 5 minutes to go in the game. Perron's 2-minute penalty that almost cuts half the time left. Right, you're killing the penalty, so you're instantly thinking, kill the penalty. Then you got if you don't kill it, that's game over. Right,
right.
But if you do kill it,
when he took it, I'm like, God damn it, we had a chance, and it's more than 50% gone now. But yeah, you're right. You kill it, and you get the momentum.
You get momentum, and you've got 3 minutes, so you're going to pull Bennington soon after that, probably as soon as you can. Nowadays, you pull a goalie 2 or 3 minutes to go. Remember back in the day when it was like a minute was the magic number, a minute 20, something like that. You pull your goalie.
As the goalie, I remember very well.
Because 2 minutes seemed like in the back in the day seemed like way too early.
Right. I'll tell you what, the trend with pulling, we've seen them pulled, I think at one point in the last 2 seasons, somebody pulled a goalie with over 10 minutes to go in the third.
Yeah.
I forget who it was, but more and more you see it 4 or 5 minutes to go. I think it says more about the possession side of the game and, playing the odds, but as the goalie, I always hated it.
Well, it means
always
you're losing.
hated it.
It means you're losing, and it hurts your stats, right? Because you don't have the opportunity to make more saves to bump your numbers back up, or you need to score to get the
Right, and if you have a statistician who's keeping track of your time on the ice and time off the ice, that hurts your GAA.
Yes, right. Because if you allow 3 goals in the game, but you don't play the last 2 minutes, then your GAA is over 3 for the game.
Right, your GAA over 60 is shot.
Right. Yes, exactly. So the Blues did kill this off. With 2 minutes to go, the Blues were able to pull Bennington. A few seconds later, Yanni Hakanpää took a hooking penalty against Ryan O'Reilly. With just under 2 minutes remaining, the Blues pulled Bennington for a 6-on-4. And then with just under a minute to go in the third, this is when 99% of the game happened. In the last 1/60th of the game, most of the game happened. So little snippets play-by-play here. So there's a battle behind the Stars net. Braden Shen gets knocked down and is on the ice along the end boards near the far corner. Heiskanen skates between Shen and the boards to go after the puck that was going towards the corner. Shen grabs and holds on to Heiskanen's stick, which wasn't seen by the official, and Heiskanen goes down. I didn't think it was a dive. Some people were saying it was a dive. I didn't think it was a dive. Heiskanen's trying to get by Shen, quick to the puck, and he goes to he can't move his stick. He falls down. Doesn't matter, dive or not. It should have been a penalty on Shen. Missed call. Okay. Which everyone was calling a trip at first, which it looked like a trip. It looked like it could have been. I couldn't see from the camera angle they showed on TV. You couldn't tell if it was a trip, if he toe picked or what. But then the reverse angle, oh yeah, Shen just grabs his stick blatantly. Then Heiskanen gives Kyrou gets the puck because Heiskanen's down on the ice. Heiskanen gets up, gives as Kyrou's taking it towards the net a little bit. Heiskanen gets up and gives Kyrou this nasty 2-handed slash across his stick in between his gloves, and instant penalty, right? Because he's got the puck. Everyone in the world's looking at it, and then this is where it gets. Well, it was interesting where the missed hold, but interesting here because Kyrou's stick's broken. Then he plays the puck quickly. Right after it breaks, he realizes, I'm in my mind. I think it looks to me, being a player, and this is what I would have done probably. Your stick's broke, and you could see he realizes it's broken, and then quickly sweeps it towards O'Reilly or towards the net. He played the puck with a broken stick, and granted, it wasn't 3 seconds later. It was a half a second after, not even a quarter of a second after. but
Right. Bang,
still
bang.
still did it. Bang, bang. Right. Bang, bang. Puck go down. But he, but, and then no call there. So, okay. I can see maybe giving him some leeway there because it was broken stick, played it, dropped it. Still, it's a penalty. But so O'Reilly grabs the puck, passes to Krug at the point. Krug shoots, goes wide, big rebound, out in the slot. O'Reilly's there, puts it under Holtby with 46 seconds left to tie it up. Amazing. Holy cow.
Yeah.
And then
So let me
Go ahead.
ask.
Yeah.
Let me ask. So as soon as the puck goes in, you see the ref point to Heiskanen and say, "Go to the box,"
Right.
Because we were already on the power play, delayed penalty. We're going right back on the power play.
Right.
You see him go over, and bonus. I thought this was like I was shocked that bonus didn't argue more and didn't try to challenge the goal, because Braden Shen was right in front and swung right as Holtby is going down, and he could have had an argument to get a review to say, hey, Shen made contact with my goalie, we want a review, and get his team a chance to settle down, but he didn't do it.
Right, but this is the same. This is the same situation that Berube had. Goal against the Blues, tied at Pittsburgh, and they challenged it. It was a tying goal that was scored.
Right.
They challenged it, gave it up, and they lost the challenge, and they had the penalty called. So they could have been three.
Right,
guys,
it could have been
two
a
guys
6-on-3.
It could have 6 on 3.
It could have been a 6-on-3.
Right.
Which would have been crazy.
Yeah, and that would almost. I mean, 6-on-3 with 46 seconds to go. 46 seconds to go.
But I also think you can lobby that we're in the last minute. Tell the league they need to review this. I'm not making a challenge.
Yeah,
Tell the league that they need to review it.
Well, I didn't look at the play in depth to see if there was an interference there. I did think, oh God, I hope there's not interference, because I knew Shen was there. And on the first replay that I saw, I thought, oh, I didn't think Shen made contact at all. So I didn't really analyze it deeper. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you saw something I didn't on that play, but when my first review, I didn't think he made contact at all. So I didn't bother to even look at it any closer. But
I thought that because he swung at the puck as it's coming back off the end boards.
Yeah.
And
and
so
at that point,
it's like, and Holtby is already kind of in the process of falling down, because when O'Reilly sweeps that puck, Holtby is on his back. And I thought that bonus could have bought some time, if nothing else. Maybe, like you said, maybe you don't challenge because you don't want the 6-on-3.
Yeah.
But buy some time and argue.
Well,
who knows? Maybe he did. But it seemed to me like Dallas lost their shit, and that lost them the game.
Oh yeah, they fell apart in the last minute. They took last 2 minutes. They took 2 penalties. But and the one on Heiskanen is the one that cost them the game. That's right. Because if it doesn't take that, they probably go to overtime, right? And they get a point, and they may win overtime. Who knows? So that the slash in the end cost them the game. I mean, that was the dagger. I mean, it was hard. It made it okay. It didn't put the goal on the board, but it put them in a bad spot.
Right.
And also on Shen's swipe at the puck, could you argue that he was shooting, and then if his stick makes contact with Holtby, it wouldn't?
Right, he was
it's a
totally
follow-through.
shooting.
Well, it's a follow through, so it wouldn't matter, right?
Yeah,
if he's
but
shooting,
you could still argue and try to get some time and get settled down.
All right, gotcha.
That's where I'm coming from.
Okay,
that's what I'm about.
Just to delay and let the league see it. I got
right.
I picked it up, what you put down. So Heiskanen goes to the box for the slash. Blues go right back on the power play. Blues win the face-off, bring it right back into Dallas' zone. Thomas's shot is blocked. Puck goes to the corner, behind the net, out the far side, in the corner. Kyrou, who tries to pass across the slot to Thomas on the near side. It goes off Hakanpää's shin guard, who is trying to block the pass across. and it goes into the net behind Holtby. 12 seconds after O'Reilly has scored, and 29 seconds to go in the game, and the Blues went up 2-1. And I kid you not, I celebrated. Well, I celebrated hard the first goal. That was like fantastic, finally, right? But this goal, I was. If you had just recorded me, you would have thought the Blues won a playoff game in overtime. It was such an unbelievable, remarkable, rare comeback in the waning moments of this game. I acted like it was a playoff win. It was probably very similar to Maroon's goal against Dallas. It was not that unlike that.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. And I'll just share during this game, this was the first game that I mostly listened to it on the radio broadcast, because I was doing an ill-advised thing and trying to demo a shed in below freezing temperatures. And so, yeah, I was out working on my shed trying to get it torn down, and was listening to Kerber call most of the game. But I timed my warm-up breaks to coincide with the end of each of the first, second, and third period. So I got to watch it. I was still pretty frozen, so I didn't have a hard celebration like you did. But yeah, pretty awesome.
Did you get your sledgehammer?
I did.
Okay. I was gonna say I didn't hear from you. So
it worked pretty well. Except that, there's a lot more shed than I really figured. So, well, I should say a couple more steps that I didn't take into account. So, suffice to say, somebody's coming to take it down for me on Friday.
Stars fans were livid, and they probably should be, with the 2 missed calls on the play before Riley scores. With that said, I don't think, we talked before early in the show. Jamie Benn had that solid slash on Costin, missed call. That was a dirty play. No call there, and calls are missed all game long. That happens. But I get being mad because these missed calls happened at a crucial time for Dallas. Well, either one would have saved them. So
right, but doesn't every Blues fan think that Jordan Kyrou playing the puck with a broken stick is karma finally being made whole for Justin Applicator winning a game against the Blues
in overtime with a broken stick?
2011, yeah.
I remember that game. I was watching the game with my daughter. She was 2011, was it? Yeah, she was. So she was like 2 years old. 2 or 3.
I don't think it was that far back.
I was gonna say
2013.
Okay, so she was a few years old, but 3 or 4 years old. But she was sitting there watching with me, and maybe a little older than that, maybe 4 or 5 years old. But so she was enjoying the game. She's a Blues fan, and I was livid when that happened. And I explained to her why it shouldn't have counted, and she was beside herself because she was like, "Well, but if it's against the rules, how come it counts?" I said, "Because they didn't see it, and it's not reviewable." And she
goes, NBC had to go to horse racing.
Right. And she goes, but they have the replay. They can just look at it. I'm like, yeah, but this particular play is not reviewable. But why? I'm like, I don't know. It's stupid. You have replay. If you're going to use it to get something like this, the egregious right? So bad. And to this day, she'll tell you that I was how upset she was, and she was just learning the game, and she's beside herself, upset by this play. It was so funny. Made it easier to take for me because I was that was comical to me.
You should ask her if she caught that and if she thinks it makes up for it at this point. Did she watch the game with you on Sunday?
She was not here at it, but I let her watch the DVR on Tuesday. And so I played the last Sunday night. I played the beginning back. Just the last. I said you can watch the last 5 minutes of the game. That's all you need to watch.
That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
And so she didn't celebrate as much as I did. And Dallas fans have to absolutely hate the Blues. I'm thinking I would if I were a Dallas fan. The Blues might be my most hated team. They lose the Blues in 7 games in 2016. They lose the Blues in 7 games in 2019 in a game that they could have easily won twice before the Maroons scored. They're 1-3 versus the Blues this season, including the heartbreaking, frustrating loss on Sunday. The Blues have played the Stars franchise exactly 300 times during the regular season in their history. This includes Minnesota North Stars days too. And the Blues have a combined 142, 108, 43, and 7 record against the Stars. The domination by the Blues over the Stars in recent years, to me, is kind of payback for the Stars beating the Blues after the Blues swept the Blackhawks in 93. I think it was 93. When the Blues, we knocked off the mighty Blackhawks, and we got the Stars. The Stars. Who the fuck Stars? And then, and that was in Pittsburgh, went to the final. And it was Minnesota versus Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there was Minnesota's last year as the Minnesota North Stars. Maybe it was the following year.
I think it was the following year.
Yeah, but that was Mike Modano at his prime, and John Casey, Casey in net for the Minnesota North Stars.
Yep. So and for Hull going to the Stars and the Stars beating the Blues that season and winning the cup,
and for them giving us Roman Turek.
Right. Yes. I was so excited to get Turek at the time. He was the goalie to get, and we got him.
Mm-hmm. Right. He was Belfour's understudy. Yep. Right. He's going to be the next big thing, and that was about all he was big.
He had that one great year with Brent Johnson for they had the Jennings, right?
Yeah.
Best GA
until we got to the playoffs.
Yeah. Right. And since 08-09, the Blues have a winning percentage of versus Dallas against the Blues have a winning percentage of .634 against Dallas and a record of 33-18-5, and they're 18-8-2 versus Dallas in St. Louis, which is a .679 point percentage or win percentage, point percentage. Yeah, point percentage. No, either one of the two. So yeah, I mean, I know the Blues and the Stars are a good rivalry. It's been that way for a long time, but I almost want I haven't really gotten the impression the Stars fans hate the Blues the way that I think they probably should. I mean, who's their biggest rival?
That's a good question. One of the guys that works for me is actually a pretty massive Stars fan. Right now, they're actually more. He was more upset about Tampa and losing to Vasilevsky in the Cup final in the bubble year. So I think between Nashville and getting beat by Tampa and then probably the Blues, those are probably top 3.
I mean, but Tampa's a short-term thing. I mean, it's a recent thing. Blues and Dallas go back quite a ways, back and forth. I mean, because the Blues knocked out Dallas.
There's a lot more history, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot more history there. There's a lot more history than with Nashville. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a good question. I'll ask him tomorrow.
You do that. It'd be good.
Who do you hate more?
Yeah.
Do you hate me?
I mean, what is their biggest rival? If it's not the Blues, where do the Blues rank? I'm very curious because to me, if I were a Stars fan, I would loathe the Blues because they would have broken my heart in the last 10 years, 15 years, a lot.
Are you saying that the St. Louis Blues are to the Dallas Stars what the Detroit Red Wings formerly were to the St. Louis Blues?
If we had won the Cup in 2016 after beating them in 7 games, I'd say that's pretty close. Maybe. That's not too far off. I don't think it's quite there. But
I don't know. Some of the most painful memories I have of those losses to the Red Wings and those years against the Red Wings were when you knew they were going to tie it and win it in the last minute, right? And
yeah, you just couldn't hold on, right?
Right, and that's what we just did to the Stars. So
I get it, and they're chasing us in the standings, which they've been for a while. I mean, they had a nice run in the playoffs bubble, but I said at the time and that I thought they overachieved, and they're not playing particularly well. I mean, they're what are they right now? They're the standings. They are they're in 6th in the division. 36 points. They're 17, 13 and 2.
Where they sit in the wild card?
I'm pulling up right now. They are currently out. They are well out. Yeah, they're let's see. Yeah, they're 6 points behind Minnesota for the Minnesota's I'm sorry. Minnesota holds the first wild card. They have this. I wasn't looking at this right. Minnesota and San Jose are the 2 wild card teams. San Jose is a wild card team. I didn't realize that. And so Dallas, they're on 3 points out of the wild card right now, so they're not too far up. With 4 games in hand on San Jose. That's why San Jose is up there. They played 4 more games than everybody else around them. Okay. Anyway, the Blues are.
And I was going to say, since you mentioned San Jose, Puck Guy 14 in the YouTube chat.
Oh,
so,
is he?
Welcome, Eric.
I had the one in the background. There it is. There he is. Hey, happy newish year. I thought I read that first as happy Jewish year. There's a word for that.
Anti-Semitism?
I don't know. Hey, Eric. And those who don't know, I'm sure he was on TV, right? Eric is a Wheel of Fortune champion. We've mentioned that before, right? We talked about that.
Oh yeah. We've gotten to the point where every time he shows up, I think we mention it. So.
It's online somewhere. I saw it online. I was like, I'm gonna find it. It's out there somewhere, right? And there are like archive videos of Wheel of Fortune everywhere. Yeah. And Eric says, "Hey, let us enjoy it for the moment." LOL. Yeah, I wasn't knocking the Sharks. I was like, I didn't realize they were quite up in the wild card standings yet. And I'm like, oh, that's part of the reason is they've played more games. You can still hang on.
Yeah. And
you got yourself a Evander Kane, so that's a plus.
Right. And the Oilers are about to take the dive.
Oh, whatever.
Weird. But you talked about the standings, and where did Nashville come from?
They've been good. They just beat Colorado in overtime last night.
Yeah, they are.
That was, speaking of which, that's like the worst scenario for us. Was that game went to fucking overtime?
Yep. God,
I guess.
Wait, are we still talking about trying to go to the game in March, or
I'm behind us? I'm going. I want to go.
All right.
So,
where's Ponder? Get on here. Let's talk about
Where
this.
is he? Let's talk about that game. But yeah, this is for the first time in like a number of years, a few years at least. The Blues are at a Saturday game in Nashville. And I think in the past few years, it's always been like a Sunday afternoon game, which sucks.
And this is an afternoon game.
Yeah, so you could go to the game, and then you have the evening on Saturday evening to go hang out down there. That's like perfect. So
if you can get tickets,
you can always get tickets, just whether you want to. And Nashville's pretty good too. Well, that's why you get them now. That's why you get them now. Before they, or go down there and wait until the game starts, and then buy them on StubHub for like, a third of the price. The Blues are 9-2-1 in the last 12 games. They're 11-0-1 in their last 12 home games. They have a 12-game home game point streak, matches their third longest streak in team history. Last accomplished January 6th through February 26th when they went 9-0-3. So Yeah, 11-1 is more impressive than 9-3 to me.
Definitely sounds better.
But point wise is the same. But
Right.
I mean, you got more wins, so that's better in the standings. It's better all around. Yeah. So we'll talk about a few things, a number of things. I want to rant about Spectrum. And Perron is back on COVID protocol again. We'll talk about that. Got a game against Seattle for the first time in team history, so we'll talk about that. And then Evander Kane as well. That's why Eric showed up. He knew, he sensed we are going to talk about Evander Kane. And then Chikrin, do we want him? Do we need him?
Who do we want?
Who do we want? Who do we want? After this word from our good buds over at Center Ice Brewery. Center Ice Brewery is St. Louis's only hockey-themed brewhouse. Stop on in during the next game to experience the ultimate hockey fan brewery while sampling various hockey-inspired beers, such as Old Arena Lager, the Beauty IPA, the Rotating Pale Ale Series, or seasonal offerings such as their Imperial Stout, their Lime Sherbet Sour, and much more. While you're there enjoying any number of their fantastic beverages, you can admire the bar top and tables made of authentic arena wood and the actual penalty box door from the old barn. Located at 3126 Olive Street in Midtown St. Louis, it's one of the best places to watch a Blues game, or any game. Visit centericebrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or make a reservation in the tap room. Center Ice Brewery. Let's go Blues. Please drink responsibly. Matt Harris in the YouTube chat says, are any of you folks going to the Pronger retirement night that I'd be able to sweet talk into grabbing me one of those banners they're giving away? I know Jeff, Bill, and myself are all going. I personally will speak for myself. I do plan on keeping my banner.
I do too.
Yeah.
Who are you bringing? Is Amy going with you? Or?
She is going. Yes.
Yeah.
So
maybe Matt can sweet talk her into giving
maybe,
the
or we'll put it out there. You know, anybody wants to go and doesn't want their banner. You know, he said he'd pay. So contact the show. We'll put you in contact with Matt Harris or whatever on Twitter. Matt's on Twitter, right? I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask Matt. Do you care if it's completely beer stained? Because I'm imagining we'll be able to find one under the seat somewhere in the arena.
We should do that after. Good luck, but after it's over, I'd imagine someone would leave it at the seats, right?
Right, and a lot of people are thinking the same thing, and they're going to look for it. But
sure.
Yeah. I still have two of the McKinnis ones, so
I have two Hull ones, I believe.
I didn't get to go to that game.
It was not a good game. It was a terrible game.
Yeah, they usually are. The McKinnis game, I think they lost pretty bad too.
And there's a bunch of people on COVID right now. We're playing a really good Nashville team, a hot Nashville team. If we don't get guys back, which we might, we'll talk about it in a little bit. But yeah, that's. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, when we got these tickets, I was thinking, "Oh, Nashville." I mean, that they're not supposed to be that great, but they're surprising some folks. Matt says, "I'm fine, however it comes. If it's not broken in and beer stained before, I'll have to break it in myself." Oh, okay. Okay. A lot of people like to complain about how their TV provider and Spectrum is a popular thing to complain about. The remote viewing. So if a lot of you may watch Spectrum on their app, and you can watch. That means you can watch, your stations, your Spectrum stations. If you're traveling or on vacation or whatever, you just use the app and you can just watch your programs.
With Spectrum.
Well, you can, but not Bally's. Bally's Sports Midwest does not allow you to do that. They lock that channel. You have to be on your home network.
Have to be on your home Wi-Fi network.
I'm like, well,
and
my home
who's
Wi-Fi
going to
network.
use the Bally Sports app?
Yeah,
nobody.
It's like if I'm on my home, my home Wi-Fi network, I'm gonna fucking watch the game on my cable. Why would I? I mean, there probably aren't a whole lot of people who watch Bally's on. Now this isn't the Bally's app. This is the Bally's channel on the Spectrum app, which is fine. It's not buggy. It's just a channel.
Right.
But Spectrum locks that channel, so you can't watch it. But I guess you can use the Bally's Sports app, I guess, huh? I didn't think about that when I was complaining the other day.
But that's the thing. You
It's
have
terrible.
to use that app, and
It's
it
terrible.
is crap. It's yeah. It could potentially win. What are the? Isn't there an award for like the worst
Worst app?
technology stuff?
Yeah, probably. I was just wondering why they do that. Why they lock that channel. I didn't even think about that. That's probably why they do it. So they're forced to use their app to watch games.
Probably.
And the app is a piece of shit. You get disconnected all the time. It's choppy. And the last time I tried to use it, the audio and video were off by like 45 seconds. It was unwatchable. Anyway, okay, whatever. Ken Morris says Chris Pronger or Scott Stevens from that era Blues team. Who would you prefer as your D-man?
I say both are beasts.
That's a
both
good
were
question.
amazing defensemen, but I go Pronger just because of the sentimental value.
Yeah.
If Stevens doesn't leave, I think he could have got us over the hump. He could have been the leader that brings us to a cup. But
if he doesn't leave, we lose Brendan
Right.
Moore and Joseph, because that was the
Yeah.
package to go back to.
But then
No, I'm
maybe
sorry.
we get
Brendan Moore. Yeah, it was Brendan Moore and Joseph.
it was
and they took
right.
they took Scott Stevens. It was New Jersey.
Right.
That's right. It was the Shanahan.
Right.
Yes.
So then we have Shanahan and we have Guy Hebert, which probably
he was
wouldn't have
good.
been the worst.
That's a great
Wouldn't have
point.
been the worst thing in the world.
But he played really
But
well
you
for
could
him.
also, right? You could also have then brought in Grant Fuhr earlier than we did. So just saying.
I guess we could have, but
Right.
Keenan was
he was pretty
instrumental in
bad
getting him
in
here.
Buffalo. Right.
Yeah. What would he have been desirable at that time? Keenan was instrumental in getting him here. I'm not sure if even that would have happened.
Yeah. Probably not. He probably wouldn't have wanted to come here, but
maybe. I don't know. Perron is back on COVID protocol again. That makes, let's see, Tarasenko, Perunovic, Perron, Pareko, and Shen on COVID protocol. Jake Wallman was on protocol, but he was back on the ice this morning for practice. So that means he tested negative today, since it's been 5 days since he tested positive. Tarasenko and Perunovic were not on the ice today, meaning they didn't test negative today after 5 days. So that means neither are likely to play versus Seattle on Thursday, unless because that was the impression that Berube gave. He wanted to get some practices in for guys who haven't skated in 5 days before they played. And Wallman is a maybe due to him not skating in 5 days and just skating today. This is Perron's third stint on the COVID list since last playoffs. So he missed playoffs, and then he had an earlier stint this season, and he's on it again now, which makes complete sense. I mean, well, it makes sense as far in terms of how the different variants work with COVID. Previous infections with like the Delta, if you got infected with Delta and you had COVID, the Delta variant with COVID, that provides zero protection. The antibodies you got from Delta provide zero protection against Omicron COVID. So it doesn't help you. So I think a lot of people who are saying, well, let's get everyone to have COVID, and then we've got herd immunity against COVID, and then we'll get out of this. That doesn't apply, because all that immunity that you would have had from Delta doesn't help you against Omicron. So
it's like the flu, the different variations, right? You can get a flu shot, and a different strain of the flu is prominent that year, and you're going to get sick. And
the vaccinations are supposed to help you with Omicron, mostly with the booster, though. So that you're supposed to get for what they're saying, you get the vaccination will help you against Omicron if you get the booster as well. The booster is key, apparently.
Right. I'm pretty sure, after attending an event at Kurt's house a couple weeks ago. We were all exposed, and I had a positive test after that.
I did. I did not.
I got my booster back in October, and I felt crummy for a day. Had a bad headache for a day, but felt fine otherwise. I mean, I would love to have followed up with a PCR, but you can't get one no matter what you do.
I was fortunate enough to be able to get tested at work for free. Just sign up and go, and I did that, and I tested negative, so that was good. I felt fine, no issues. So I wasn't expecting to test positive, but you never know, right?
Yeah,
not asymptomatic, so that makes 20 players either on COVID protocol or out with injury this season for the Blues. Only 6 players from the opening day roster have not been on the COVID list. So by the end of the season, you're probably all of them. And it's gonna. I mean, it's at the rate they're going.
I think we should take bets right now. How many more times does Perron get on the list?
Well, I mean, if he has Omicron now, which that's almost certainly has,
will he be protected against Deltacron or Flurona?
Flurona. That's only if you get flu and COVID at the same time. But I mean, I guess it depends on the variants that come out and how much they've mutated to avoid vaccines. So, and he still may get it. And actually, if they mutate enough, then it will be different enough from Omicron that maybe his antibodies from Omicron don't protect against the new variant. That's how it works, people. I don't know. We'll see. You just got to wait and see, because you can't predict this stuff. You got to wait until a variant happens, then it's out in the wild, and then you just see how people react to it that are vaccinated and aren't vaccinated and that have had COVID and haven't, and what protects who from what. Just got to see. Up next for the Blues, we got the Seattle Kraken tomorrow night, which, if you listen to the podcast, is tonight. If you listen to the podcast tomorrow, would be the games tonight.
Well, you're not going to have the podcast up.
If you're listening to the podcast tomorrow, which would be on Thursday, yeah, it'll be up in the morning.
But it won't be up by midnight. I'm just saying, you're not going to have it up so that somebody could actually podcast this on Wednesday.
So if you listen to the show on Thursday, there's a game tonight. There you go. The Blues won't be at full strength due to COVID, which you just said. But Seattle isn't good, so maybe the Blues don't need a full squad. To me, this is a big game because you got Toronto after this, and then you've got Nashville. 2 should be really, really tough games. We're at home. We're really good at home, so that's got that going for us, but we're short this game. So this game kind of scares me, because if we lose this game, if we're short,
then it's can't have a letdown. You cannot have a letdown game against Seattle. They're, like you said, they're not a great team. Probably going to be sellers at the deadline. No Schwartzy. He's had hand surgery, so he won't be in the lineup. But you cannot lose to a Vince Dunn led Seattle Kraken team. I assume he's going to be in the lineup. But
advanced stats say that the Seattle Kraken they're a pretty good defensive team, but they just have shit goaltending. Grubauer has been awful.
Wait, Philip Grubauer is not a good goalie?
As much as it pains him to admit it.
Right.
Maybe he'll Instagram about it. How bad he is. You hate to see it, right?
Yeah, I hate to see it.
Yeah, I hate to see it. So yeah, Toronto on Saturday, huge division game against Nashville on Monday, which we'll be going to. We currently trail Nashville by 3 points with a game in hand. So getting points in the bank versus Seattle is a big deal. We're at home for both. One of the better teams in NHL, 14-3-2 at home, and currently riding a 12-game home streak. Seattle goalie and Jeff Ponder's favorite player, Grubauer, will not be in net. He's playing tonight. So that's what they said anyway earlier today. So it looks like we'll see their backup in goal. How do you say his last name? Drider?
Chris Driedger.
Dreger.
I think it's Dreger, maybe
Dreger.
Dreiger.
Okay,
He was good in Florida. I mean, good enough to be selected in the expansion draft, I guess.
He's got similar numbers to Grubauer this season, so but you never know. Yeah, these goalies pop up and bite you in the ass. We've seen it so many times.
Right. I mean, look at Cal Peterson going back to the game that got Mike Yeo fired a few years back. Nobody shuts out the Blues and propels us to the Stanley Cup.
Let's see. And you mentioned the Schwartz is out with a broken hand, so he will not. If he's in the building, I assume they'll put him on camera and they'll play a little tribute thing to him. Maybe, I don't know. But although I wonder if he's even going to be with the team because of COVID and everything. He's probably not going to be with the team.
You don't want injured players traveling with the team and potentially getting or spreading COVID. Too much of a risk.
I agree. I mean, that would make sense. So it's been reported that the most cup contending teams have inquired about Evander Kane. The oft troubled fringe criminal, universally hated and PR nightmare Evander Kane was given his unconditional release due to him traveling to Canada while knowingly having COVID. And I think the Sharks were like, "Thank you for doing that. You're gone."
Right.
Kane is just a stupid man. He's just a dumb person.
Well, yeah. I mean, you kind of wonder if there wasn't something calculated there, but maybe not. I don't know. I have a hard time thinking that somebody is just that oblivious.
Well, he did, submit a fake COVID card. So he's obviously doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I think that's more it.
Do you think the Blues are one of the teams who have inquired about Kane?
No.
The only see, if I were a GM, I think I would always be, oh, who's available? What do you okay. I'd always be talking to people, not that I had any desire to get them, but I'd always be talking to other GMs about maybe even just who's interested, just to see where he might go. Is he going to go to a Central Division team? Maybe someone wants him. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, that's the extent that I would hope the Blues were involved, just to see what's going on, not actual interest in getting him.
Yeah, no, I honestly don't think, especially with the Blues, having not that they're the same caliber of player, but we just waived James Neal and sent him to the taxi squad. We want our youth.
He's going to play tomorrow, by the way,
right.
on Thursday. He's supposed to.
Yeah.
In lineup. So.
Right. Because all the COVID.
Yes, because all the COVID.
But hey, I mean, the guy hasn't pouted, right? He didn't pout, and he's accepted everything that the Blues have put before him this year, and it would be pretty amazing to see him score a goal tomorrow night. So,
I assume you don't want Kane in St. Louis.
No, I don't want. I like the this team's makeup right now. The chemistry seems to be really strong. That's they're doing some pretty cool bonding things that it's a tight group if you can get everybody to show up at the Winter Classic in Minnesota wearing beach attire.
Right.
There's something special there. And for a guy who is notorious as a locker room detractor, no, you're not going to bring that kind of guy into this fold.
Why would I'm with you. I don't want him here. I don't want them to want him here. I don't know why anybody would ever want that jackhole on this Blues team. Off-field problems, PR nightmare. Players hate him. Teammates hate. Why would you want to? I mean, he's a good player. He's a really good player, and he would. I mean, I would assume he would help your production on the ice, but at what cost? I mean, San Jose couldn't wait to get rid of him, and they could use him. So, I mean, yeah. There are some people locally who were like, "Oh, they should try and get him. Just try and get him." I'm like, "What the fuck? Who? What?"
Right.
Yeah, that tells me what kind of person you are. If you want Evander Kane on this team, come on.
We yeah, I don't know. Tonight on on Twitter, I've seen a few things, with there was a McDavid interview, and I guess he was asked about it, and he was basically saying, you do whatever you can to win, which to me, that kind of statement about, if he was, I didn't have a chance to see the interview, but if somebody asks you, are you okay with them bringing in Evander Kane, and for Connor McDavid to say you do, like if his answer truly was basically, you do what you can to win, that's got to be off-putting to the guys in that locker room to begin with, right? To say, I want a cancer because this group isn't getting it done.
Okay, let's count the number of times Evander Kane has won a Stanley Cup. Ready? None.
Done.
None. So teams win every year without him. You don't, do whatever you have to do to win. Yeah, teams do that. They don't have him on their team. That's how they win. He's not on their team. I'm not saying he couldn't help a team be better, but production-wise, or he could probably put up good numbers. But I mean, come on. I mean, there's a lot of players out there, guys. I mean,
yeah, the trade deadline's coming up. You can add somebody.
He's probably gonna be cheap. I give him that. So Tim Peel, who is now apparently an NHL insider, former referee Tim Peel,
playing the role of NHL insider.
Right. He says that Edmonton is very close to signing him. And Evander Kane's agent said he expects Kane to be signed by like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So very soon.
Yep.
And Oilers GM Ken Holland has said about Kane, everyone deserves a second chance. Kane's on chance number 13 right now, I think.
Right. Lucky number 13.
I mean,
yeah.
Ken Holland said some stupid stuff.
Right. Ken Holland, like, it's like the second Ken Holland left Detroit and didn't have, the amazing team around him. He's swimming. He's not been the GM I think that they hoped that they would get in Edmonton. Definitely a shadow of what he did in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, it is just it seems like he's so out of touch with the NHL nowadays. It's just weird, the comments he's making. All right, Jacob Chikrin. Do you want him? Do we need him? Do you want to give up what we'd have to give up to get him? A lot of rumors about him being moved. We should, and we should be in the market to upgrade our defense before playoffs. He's currently on the IR with an upper body injury. Been there for almost a month now. Last game was on December 10th. I don't know what I mean. He's he's a defenseman with Arizona, good defensive defenseman, having a down year, and he's been hurt. So some are saying they'd offer Perunovich, Costin, Neighbors, and a first-round pick. I mean, what do you, Bill? Where are you at with this? What do you want to do?
I mean, obviously, his contract right now is super attractive, but that
$4.5 million, I think, for the next 3 years. Yeah,
right. But that's going to drive the price through the roof, right? And Arizona is going to be able to command something,
and they don't have to move him.
Right, they don't have to move him.
He's not a free agent.
Right. If Doug Armstrong could come up with a deal that didn't involve Perunovich, Neighbors, Kyrou, any
There's
of
no
those,
way Kyrou's moving. No way.
Right. At this point, there better not be a way that Kyrou's moving.
Right.
Unless it turns out that he's Evander Kane's bookie. But
I'm not against moving anybody. I mean, everybody's on the block. If we can get better now and in the future, that's a no-brainer to me. But yeah, Kyrou's, you got to ask for an astronomical piece of property for him.
Yeah, no, it's that deal. I can't see any combination of Blues players that I would and prospects and picks. Quite frankly, we don't have the picks that I think you would need. No, I don't see it happening. I mean, every NHL team would want Jacob Chikrin. I mean, he's a great defenseman at a great price, but I think it's not going to happen here.
You think his down year is going to affect his value at all? Because they're selling low.
No.
I mean, if we're talking high low, they're selling low. He's having his worst season.
Yeah, but he's also on a team that
that is true. Terrible.
Not good.
Right.
They just gave up the tying goal to Austin Matthews. Oh, and just turned the puck over right in front of their own net.
Arizona. So bad. I almost wonder. I mean, again, he's a very good player. I just wonder if he's the kind of player our defense needs. You know what I mean? I mean, he'd be expensive to get for one, so we'd almost for sure have to give up people off the roster, picks, prospects, right? I mean, I almost wonder if a guy, and we talked about him in the offseason when Tarasenko was all but gone, a guy like Mayfield, getting him a big, tough, stay-at-home defenseman,
right,
who comes much cheaper.
Right, and as a possibility with the Islanders in the toilet.
Right, I know. So I almost wonder if not necessarily Mayfield, because who knows if he's going to be available or not, but a player of his style, I think that is. I mean, I think that would be a much better get in terms of what we'd have to give up and what our roster currently needs. I think that kind of player is a much better fit to me.
Right.
Your tough stay-at-home big defenseman that doesn't care about offense necessarily. He's going to be cheaper, and I think he's like the puzzle piece. He's really, in my mind, that type of player is the only thing this team really needs to make me say, "Let's go." I mean, let's get healthy, and this is it. This is what I would go to war with in the playoffs.
Yeah. I think there are a couple of guys like that, right? If Mayfield is put on the block, which isn't any guarantee, I mean, the Islanders might just be, writing this year off and not wanting to make a whole bunch of, other roster moves. I mean, they made a couple of moves last year that, coming into a season where COVID's pretty prominent, you probably, you might not want to give up as much as you did, letting Nick Leddy go and, just having a little, going so young on the defense, they may want to keep him around, but you'll have other guys out there like Ben Sherratt, Montreal. Montreal is going to be just a fire sale here shortly. If they, if Jeff Gordon can pull the trigger as interim GM, with before they sign somebody, or maybe they bring somebody in just to clean house. Sherratt's going to be a big name. He's a big guy, knows how to play in the Central with his days in Winnipeg. He's I'm not saying that he is an elite player, but he was on a team that went to the Cup final last year and knows how to play a little bit of D. You get him the right chemistry, I think he's a great replacement for Marco Scandella. And let's not forget, we have a little trading history with Montreal. Not that Bergevin's there anymore, and I don't think you put this in the notes, but did you? God, he's with LA.
I saw that too. I didn't put it in the notes. People are like, what? Why? Assistant GM, right? Assistant GM.
Why? I think he's a senior advisor at this point.
Okay,
but I guess he and Luke Robitaille are friends or something. But why give that man another chance in the NHL?
I think he can do a lot less damage as an advisor. I guess he's not pulling the strings.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah, he had way too much autonomy in Montreal. I mean, that he's the reason why I don't watch their games anymore. I watched the game on TNT tonight against Boston, and man,
I
what
turned it
a
off when it was 3-0.
what a kick in the nuts that's got to be.
What was the final score?
In 5-1, I think, and Marchand had a hat trick.
I saw he had 2 goals. I'm like, fucker.
Yeah, it's it's not good. The only bright spot in that game for Montreal tonight was Michael Pizzetta breaking up the shutout, and otherwise the Canadians are just trash. So
I guess Jake Allen
picked the pieces. Allen came out after 2 goals.
I was gonna say, I guess he didn't have his backup mimic.
No.
Who was in net for Boston tonight?
It was Olmark, Linus Olmark.
So he didn't.
And Tuukka Rask is going to start tomorrow night.
Rask is back. Yeah, that's quick.
Yeah, for a guy that everybody was, talking retirement, has the surgery, plays a couple games in Providence, and he's back.
Good to go. We'll see.
Yeah. Their defense still sucks, so he'll probably wish he stayed in retirement come the first round of the playoffs.
Anyway, on Chychrun, I'm out on Chychrun just because I think what we have to give up to get him, I think it's a lot, and I don't think, and while he's a good player, very good player, I don't think he's what this team needs. I think we've got players like him, so kind of. So anyway, the Cam and Strick podcast had a good show. They had Bobby Clark on, former Flyers GM Bobby Clark, and a lot of stuff came out from Bobby Clark in that interview.
That was pretty awesome.
Philly could have had Ryan O'Reilly. Apparently, they could have traded with Buffalo to get O'Reilly, but they did not. And he didn't go into detail as far as like what they could have offered to get him. But he goes, "Oh, we could have had him."
Yuri Laterra.
Yeah. But he said they had a chance to trade for him, and the Blues got him in 2018 and won the Cup alongside Shen in 2019. But Hextall also traded Braden Shen to the Blues in exchange for Yuri Laterra and 2 first-round draft picks. So the funny thing about this trade, the Shen trade, is that it happened. The Shen trade happened because they drafted center Nolan Patrick. Okay, and someone had to go at center, and that guy was Shen, right? So, and the 2 first-round picks were nice for Philly, but Laterra was an awful, terrible player after his last year here. Right,
and the player that everybody wanted, apart from Hextall, was Cale Makar.
Cale Makar. So, yeah, they pass on Cale Makar in that draft. They draft Nolan Patrick, and because they drafted Patrick, who's a center, they envisioned him in the top 3 center positions, which forced out Shen. They said, okay, we can trade Shen now. We don't need Shen. So they get Laterra, they get Nolan Patrick, they pass on Makar, they trade Shen away. I was like, you're getting exponentially worse really fast. Their 2 draft picks, they drafted Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost. Farabee can play, but Frost hasn't done a whole lot yet. He's been hurt. He was hurt last year. But Farabee was a good get, but still, they're So Bobby Clark goes on to say that Hextall made a ton of bad decisions, and they're going to take a while to recover from what he's done. And now Hextall is the GM in Pittsburgh, and if I'm a Pittsburgh fan, I'm like, what the fuck did we get into over here?
So, how many people are trying to get Sidney Crosby out of Pittsburgh right now?
Right. And like you said, he passed on drafting Cale Makar when all of Hextall's scouts, they didn't want what was his name? That's his name. Nolan Patrick. They didn't want Patrick. But he drafted Patrick anyway. So, which was hilarious. Makar went 4th. Patrick went 2nd. The Flyers had the 2nd pick that year, and Makar went 4th, and I think 3rd was Heiskanen that year. So he passed on Heiskanen and Makar. And Makar, my God, he's a generational talent. I mean,
He is right, but I think he probably also still thought at that point that Shane Gostisbehere was going to be something, right? So,
he passed on
they,
Elias Peterson too. He could have had him too.
yeah, they're uh, very bad decisions made at that point, and you can't really fault Nolan Patrick. He's had concussion problems during his career.
Yeah.
It's been and
but still,
he's
just didn't work out.
Right. It was unfortunate for him, and definitely Hextall got exposed for not being the smartest guy in the room.
I mean,
thank you, Bobby Clark.
You gotta love the honesty that certain people have when they just, and for some reason, man, you on a podcast, it's almost like some of these guys don't think that anyone's listening,
right?
Because Jeremy Roenick on Spit and Chicklets, he lost his job because of what he said.
Right.
Bobby Clark said some things that were really not nice about Hextall.
Yeah.
And apparently he loves Hextall as a guy, as a person, as a friend, but he threw him under the bus. Bad.
So who can we get on?
Right. Well, we've had a lot of people on.
Who can we get on who will open up and be honest and tell us how much they really hated Mike Yeo?
Oh boy. Who could we get on? Like a player?
Yeah. Patrick Berglund. Let's get Patrick Berglund.
Oh, he'd be a great get, wouldn't he? Oh, he seems like, and he was in trouble for rape. I don't know what happened with that. He was accused of rape. Good Lord. Philly got Ryan Ellis in return from in a trade. They traded away Nolan Patrick in a three-team trade, and Nashville was involved with that trade, and they got Ryan Ellis in return, who has only played in 4 games this season and has had injury issues for his past 5 seasons. So I mean,
the beard only works in the South.
Ryan Ellis is a fine defenseman if he can stay healthy. He's just, I think Philly probably did good with that trade to get Ellis instead of and ditching Patrick. But I mean, it doesn't do any good if you're not playing. So, any other comments in the YouTube chat before we call her a nighter?
We had a visit from Mr. Blues Hat.
Oh,
Did you see that?
He says, "Hey sheep, have you changed your mind about vaccines yet?" LOL. I was joking. I think that that he may be referencing. He may be referencing something's on Twitter. I don't know if you saw what right before the show went live. When I pulled up Twitter to post that tweet about the show going live, I saw a tweet that was sent to me. I was like, "Holy shit!" Somebody went off the deep end about the vaccines.
Are you a sheep?
Apparently, I'm a sheep because I listen to the science and and the leading infectious disease experts in the world. I'm a sheep because I listen to them and because I don't listen to Fox News and Tucker Carlson. That's what the guy said. So I thought that was pretty funny. I'm like, he gets his information from Fox News, Tucker Carlson, and Facebook videos. I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody was punking me. I'm like, who is this person? Because this can't be real. This has got to be some guy playing a joke. I should get my news from Fox News, Tucker Carlson, and Facebook videos.
Did you reply to them, or did they just at you?
I replied to Mr. Blues Hat about something, and he jumped in and just it was one of those.
I see it.
Yeah, and I know I love having a good back and forth discussion about anything on Twitter, but and I just I was just like, well, just I'd be happy to read what you're saying. Just show me a legit link to something that you can show me that why you believe what you do. Never did. Never did. So
do your own research for once and watch Tucker Carlson, and that's all the evidence you need. So do your own research.
Right.
And I saw the best meme for that the other day. Doing your own research versus, scientific vaccine research. Picture of, a scientist in a lab,
Right.
and somebody doom scrolling her phone on the shitter. Yeah, that's doing your own research.
the why should I have to do any research whatsoever? The scientists in the labs are the one doing the research. They're
Right.
the ones doing this. I will take their advice. And there's no research for me to do. I'm just going to listen to the experts. That's how I'm going to roll. And I'm going to come out a winner way more than I lose when I do that. So, yeah, Mr. Blue's having a bad man. No. I don't know. I'm terrible. I'm awful. I tried to, and you're welcome, because I was quite the gentleman in that discussion in your thread. The other person was not. And if you want to watch, watch what you want to watch for entertainment value, what you enjoy, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I would suggest maybe, when it comes to things important like your health, maybe
don't listen to people who are political about it.
Yeah, just listen. I don't know it seems like such an obvious thing to me, just to listen to people who are experts in their field. I don't know. But, people are going to do what they're going to do.
Well,
Mr. Blue said you were very restrained. Yes, I was. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to just be polite, and I have you on that route. Actually, I've had a number of discussions with people, and like I said, I'll talk with anybody about anything. It's educational, it's fun, it's a good back and forth, is healthy if it stays civil, right? But it always boils down to these conversations, especially when it comes down to COVID and the vaccine and stuff like that. A lot of misinformation out there that people are saying. So I was like, if someone says something to me, I'm like, okay, well, I'll be happy to read, where you got this information. Just give me a link, I'll read it. Do you have a link to a
it's his private research,
a peer-reviewed study? That's, if you're saying that vaccines don't work, there's a lot of that out there. Okay, well, just show me a link to a peer-reviewed study that the vaccines don't work, and I'd be happy to read it and look at it and say, well, I wasn't aware there's a peer-reviewed study that the vaccines don't work. There's not one out there that says that. So, I never got a link. I never get a link for that stuff. People, they just go away. So,
according to Kyle Pupusa or whatever his name was, the government probably deleted all of those peer-reviewed studies, right? Because it's something that they've done, because the government can clearly pull things off. Right?
It's a big conspiracy. Yeah, the government is so good at being so efficient. It's in the movies. There's no unbelievably coordinated conspiracy thing that happens in the background. That's not really a thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's almost comical now. I don't get it. But he really went on. He was very rude to me. He was not nice. He went off, and I'm like, I'm just trying to be nice, guy. I'm just trying to, I legit wanted to read where you're getting information, and I'm not going to watch Fox News all day long for weeks and Tucker Carlson to try and hear him say what you're saying. And no, just give me a video link or something. So, Ken Morris says Joe Rogan. I'm like, Joe Rogan, he's a successful guy. But again, Joe Rogan's not an infectious disease expert. He's not a peer. He's not a peer of anybody who is a scientist. So he can't be part of a peer-reviewed study. He can't, you know what I mean? He has some people on there. I think he had on a show that the guy who claims to have invented the mRNA vaccine, but he wasn't. He was a part of the team that did, but he's taking credit for stuff, and he was on there. He's like very anti-vaccine now, It's weird. He's like it's gone completely like media and stuff. It's odd, but and Rogan had him on, and I think that's done a lot of that's influenced a lot of people. Weird.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, Joe Rogan is like the intersection of like news, entertainment, and jackass, and I will never take him seriously.
No, I mean, and he was fun on what was the Dare show? They eat like 100-year-old eggs and stuff.
Right, Fear Factor.
Fear Factor. I enjoyed that show.
What is it about NBC creating these reality shows and giving people that, have these mass followings? I don't know. Maybe that's what you want to do. If you want to lead a cult, get a show on NBC. I think that's the lesson we figured out here today.
Ken Morris says JFK, Roswell, 1947 are good examples of conspiracy beliefs. What's 1947? What was that?
Alien landing at Roswell, I think.
Oh, I was okay. JFK. I was reading it Roswell, 1947. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah. No, I get that. To me, if you're gonna say, well, there's okay, so yeah, you showed me a peer-reviewed study that shows that vaccines are highly effective, but that's just the government, trying to silence all the people who are trying to say that the vaccines are useless. Well, that's a weird thing for me to want to get on board with, because I don't, where's your proof of that? I don't, just because you don't want to believe it. I don't know. I'm not well versed in the reasoning behind why someone would latch onto that, as opposed to, what the experts are saying. What's the pull? What's the draw? Is it political? It's got to be, right? I don't know.
Has to be.
Mr. Blues Hat says, I'm just here with my zinc and ivermectin, living life. Well, you, sir, are bulletproof.
I'm pretty sure I have ivermectin in my house, but I do have 3 dogs, so it's the only way that I would have it.
All right. I think that's going to wrap up.
So,
yes.
So we'll do the giveaway thing next week. So,
damn it, Ponder's not here.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
Ponder's not here.
I'll tell you
his assignment is on overtime apparently.
Yeah. He was supposed to join us.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do it. We'll talk with Jeff, because I know I wanted him to give this away, announce it. But if he doesn't want to do it on Twitter, or maybe he'll release a video himself and do it, or we can do it on Twitter and just announce it tomorrow. So sorry if you joined wanting to hear the winner, but Ponder is MIA. He is tied up, so we'll do it probably tomorrow.
I'm usually the one that's missing this podcast because I'm still working. I'm so ashamed of Jeff at this point.
And I feel bad because I was waiting for Jeff to come on, and then I kind of forgot about it because that was his bit. So, did Mr. Blues? Did you even submit an entry? I don't know. I don't know who the winner is, by the way. But because Ponder's got it, but
I do. I do.
I don't. I didn't.
I do. I do know. I do know.
Just give it to him, and we'll call it a day. Well, hey, Mr. Blues Hat, I assume you're going to be at the game on Monday, the Nashville game, the Pronger game. We'll be there.
He said every game. He said every game.
Yeah, I know. I can get you some stickers if you want some stickers. Yeah. Or if you're going to be at Center Ice, whatever. Yeah. We're giving away stickers. Monday.
I still have some of the originals.
The big ones?
Not the big ones. I don't know. I'll show them. I'll show you after the show.
Okay.
You gave me an envelope stuffed with them one time.
Oh, okay.
Was it?
What? The Stanley Cup?
The white and blue.
Oh yeah.
No.
We'll have those two. We'll have those two.
Yeah.
Those are. Nope, that's not it. These right here. Oh, these right here.
Yes, those.
The Stanley Cup with the Let's Go Blues Radio logo.
Actually, I might have some prior to that, but I'll show you after the show. Whatever.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, who doesn't like stickers? Everyone loves stickers, even adults. Put them on your beer fridge.
That's right. I haven't put any on my beer fridge yet.
Are you like
that'll change soon?
Well, that first sticker is hard. Once you get that first sticker on there, they're just like it's like a tattoo. Once you get the first one,
exactly what I was thinking. Right.
Once you get the first one, you'll get a bunch more. But that first sticker is like because you got to have that perfect sticker to put on there, right? You don't want to put a crappy sticker on. It's be a good one. That first one. It's not the size of the sticker; it's where you stick it, Mr. Blue's hat. Okay, I like it.
We need to get a segment on the show. Like his one-liners are amazing.
If not corny, but that's we like corny on the show.
We do.
Yeah. All right. Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com and get 10% off by texting Dustin at 636-393-8745 and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you to get that 10% off. And by Center Ice Brewery, St. Louis's hockey-themed brewery. Visit centericebrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or to make a reservation in their awesome tap room located at 3126 Olive Street in Midtown St. Louis. It's one of the best places to watch a Blues game. That's centericebrewery.com. Please drink responsibly. That'll wrap up episode 18 of season 10 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Dam, Kurt Price, until next time, everyone, let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available. A look at sports. I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again.